but still stuck with money?
Let's be real. The best time to get your money right was yesterday. The next best time is today. I know, I get it. I've been there. Credit card debt, bills piling up, and not taking those calls. I was making good money, but still living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. Can you relate? But I have good news. You can take action today. It's not too late. Hi, I'm Dignity Coach MarieYolaine, and I am here to empower you to reclaim dignity in your finances. I get excited every time I hear that. Reclaim dignity in your finances. How would that change your life? How would you feel getting up tomorrow morning and not thinking about debt and bills and what would happen if you couldn't work for 6 weeks? What would happen if the car broke down? What would that feel like to you? What would you feel like you reclaimed? Would it be your peace of mind, of not worrying? What would you reclaim? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Dignity in Dollars podcast, a safe space where we take back our financial power, reclaim dignity in our finances, and heal our relationship with money to design and live the life we desire and deserve. Say it with me. What I desire, I deserve. Before we get into today's topic, I want to ask you something, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Do you have a savings account? Do you? Maybe you said yes. Maybe you said kind of. Maybe you said, I have something, but I'm not totally sure what it's doing. Okay. Thank you for your honesty with yourself. Now, let me ask you something else. Do you know what that money is actually for? Is it for emergencies? Is it for the future? Is it for both? And is what you have in there actually enough to do what you need it to do? Because here's what I see all the time. In my Master Your Money Without a Budget You Hate workshop, in my Financial Liberation Bootcamp, in our Focus Fire community, and in my one-on-one conversations and coaching. People have one account. They call it savings, and they are guessing about everything else. Is it enough? Am I doing this right? Should I be investing instead? Should I be saving more? Should I touch it or leave it alone? And guessing by creating stress. The guessing just creates stress, and the stress keeps people stuck. So today, we are ending the guessing. Today, we are talking about emergency fund versus wealth fund. What you actually need. We're going to talk about security versus growth, the real purpose of your money, and a clear strategy for building both. That's right, you can have both. So you can stop wondering if you're doing this right and start knowing. If this message is helping you, and I believe it's helping some of you all already right now, please share this live right now and tag someone you know who needs this clarity today. Don't let this episode end and you're like, man, so-and-so should have been here. They really could have used this information. Let them know now so that they can get on now and get the same revelations you're getting. Let's get into it. Let's start with the emergency fund, because I think this is the one that most people have heard of, but fewer people actually have. An emergency fund is exactly what it sounds like. It is money set aside specifically for unexpected, unplanned expenses that life just throws at you. A job loss, a medical bill, a car repair, a broken appliance, a family emergency, anything that comes out of nowhere and needs to be handled right away. The purpose of an emergency fund is protection. It is not for vacations. It is not for Christmas gifts. It is not for a sale you found online. It is a buffer between you and a financial crisis. It's what keeps one hard month from turning into 6 harder months. Now, here's where the stats get real, and I want you to really hear these. Nearly 24% of Americans have zero emergency savings. Zero. Nothing set aside. And 43% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 unexpected expense with what they currently have saved. So when we talk about emergency funds, we're not talking about a nice to have. We're talking about something almost half of this country does not have access to right now. And here's the one that really stopped me in my tracks. The median emergency savings balance across all American adults, not just ones who are struggling, all adults, is $600. $600. For those who have an active emergency fund, the median is $5,000. But when you include everyone, we are at $600. That tells me that the gap between people who have learned how to save and people who have not is enormous. Here's the good news. And I need you to hear this clearly. Vanguard released research showing that emergency savings are the single strongest predictor of financial well-being. Not income, not debt level, not net worth, emergency savings. And having as little as $2,000 in cash reserves significantly boosts a person's reported financial well-being. That's not $20,000. That's $2,000. That is a number that is reachable. That is a number we can work toward together. So, how much should an emergency fund actually be? The standard guidance is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But if that feels overwhelming right now, and I can understand if it does, start with a goal of 1,000, then build to 2,000, then 3 months, then 6, one step at a time. Because something is always better than nothing. And wherever you are right now, now is the place to build from. Not a verdict on who you are. Right now. So think about that. Because it might be difficult for you when you hear, oh my God, $1,000, $2,000, and you're freaking out. Bring yourself back down. I've taught y'all how to breathe, so you know. Inhale through your nose, exhale out of your mouth. If it's $500, the goal here is not the amount. The goal is to start. So start today. Now, let's talk about the wealth fund. And this is the part that gets exciting. A wealth fund is money that is working for you. It's not sitting still waiting for an emergency. It's growing, right? It's growing. It is being invested. Not just sitting there. It is building wealth. Think about that, right? So this is a very important distinction between the two. It's growing, it's building wealth. It's building your future in the background of your everyday life. A wealth fund might look like a retirement account, a 401k, an IRA. It might look like an investment account. It might look like a high yield savings account where the interest rate is actually doing something meaningful. It might look like money set aside to eventually start or grow a business. The purpose of a wealth fund is growth. It is not, I repeat, it is not for emergencies. It is not for everyday expenses. It is the money that is building the life you want to live 10, 20, 30 years from now. And here's the key distinction I want you to hold on to. An emergency fund is about security. A wealth fund is about growth. They're two completely different jobs. They do two completely different jobs. And when you try to use one account for both purposes, you usually end up with neither security nor growth. You just have a confusing pile of money that you are afraid to touch and not sure even how to grow or if it's growing. According to a 2023 Gallup survey, only 26% of Americans say that they have money invested in the stock market outside of a retirement account. That means that most people are not building wealth beyond what their employer might be helping them with, if they even have that. And I get it. Investing can feel intimidating. It can feel like something that is for other people, people with more money, rich people, more knowledgeable people, people who have more access. Lies. Lies. And that is exactly the story that we rewrite here on Dignity in Dollars in the Master Your Money workshop and bootcamp. This is the story that you have told yourself, but I am telling you that that story is not true. It has no facts in it, but it's full of fear, I'm sure. Because building wealth is not just for the wealthy. It starts with clarity and one intentional next step. So now that we understand what each one is, let me tell you why you need both and why the order matters too. Here's what I teach. Emergency fund first, wealth fund second. Not because growth is less important, but because without security, growth is fragile. Think about it this way. Imagine you start investing money into a wealth building account, but you have no emergency fund. Then something happens. The car breaks down, you get a medical bill, you have an unexpected expense. And because you have no cushion, you have to pull that money out of your investment account to cover it. Now you've disrupted your growth, possibly incurred penalties for early withdrawal, and you're back to zero. But if you have that emergency fund sitting separately, untouched, protected, ready, then when the crisis hits, you handle it with your emergency fund. And your wealth fund keeps growing. It doesn't even know that you had an emergency because technically that's none of its business. The plan stays intact. Security first, then growth. Both working together. Now, here's what I want you to think about setting up. Here's how I want you to think about setting up both. Your emergency fund lives in a separate, accessible savings account, preferably a high-yield savings account where it's earning some interest while it sits there. It's not invested. It's not tied up. It is liquid, meaning you can get to it quickly when you need it. Your wealth fund, on the other hand, can afford to be less liquid because it is there for the long term. As I said before, this might be a retirement account through your job, a Roth IRA, an index fund, or some other investment vehicle. The point is, it is growing over time, which is why you're not touching it. You can check on it, though, and feel good about yourself seeing your interest increasing, but you do not touch it. Can you promise me that you won't touch it? Hey, Linda Morgan. Linda stays on this Dignity in Dollars because she knows what I'm talking about. Don't touch it. Leave it there, because as you see it grow, it will inspire you to leave it there. So check in, see how great you're doing, and then check out. So 2 accounts, 2 purposes, both essential, both working together to give you security and freedom of choice with your money, which is exactly how the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau defines financial wellness: security and freedom of choice. That is the goal. I would also add peace of mind, security, freedom of choice, and peace of mind. Who wants to go to bed thinking about money? Who wants to wake up thinking about money? Not me, and I think not you either. So let's make this practical. Here are strategies you can actually use to build your emergency fund and your wealth fund at the same time. Strategy number 1, for your emergency fund, automate a small amount every payday. You do not need to save hundreds of dollars at once. Set up an automatic transfer of even $25 or $50 every time you get paid into a separate savings account. Name it something that reminds you what it is for. Emergency fund, peace of mind, whatever keeps you from spending it. The key is that it moves automatically before you even have a chance to spend it on something else. Strategy number 2 for your emergency fund, use windfalls intentionally. For example, your tax refund. This is money that you weren't anticipating or expecting. You didn't even know how much it was going to be. Take it and put it in the emergency fund. Birthday money, a bonus, an unexpected extra. Before you spend any of it, ask yourself, does my emergency fund have at least 1 month of expenses in it? If the answer is no, that windfall, that tax return, that bonus has a job. Put it in directly into your emergency fund, or a portion, before anything else, before you do anything else with it. Strategy number 3, for your wealth fund, start with what your employer offers. If your job offers a 401k with any kind of employer match, that is the first place to start. An employer match is free money. Never leave free money on the table. It is part of your compensation. Not taking it is, like I said, leaving free money on the table. That is already yours. Even contributing enough to get the full match is a meaningful first step towards building wealth. And I'll make it plain. Let's say that your company does do a full match. That means if you decide you're going to put $25 away every paycheck, they're going to match it at $25. So at the end of the month, instead of having $50 put away, you have $100. And you didn't have to do anything. Just click match. That's the easiest way you're going to build wealth that will require nothing on your part. Strategy number 4, for your wealth fund again, open a Roth IRA if you qualify. A Roth IRA lets you contribute after-tax money that then grows tax-free, which means that when you retire, start withdrawing that money, you do not owe taxes on the growth. This is a powerful tool that many are using. And again, this is information for everyone, not just rich people. And you do not need a lot of money to open one. Many accounts allow you to start with very little. Strategy number 5, and this is for both emergency and wealth. Review and adjust every 6 months. Every 6 months. Your emergency fund's goal will change as your expenses change. You may be living in an apartment, but then you move into a house. So for your apartment, you didn't have to worry about the boiler, you didn't have to worry about the air conditioning or anything like that because you would call the super. But once you buy your house, yeah, that's all on you. You are the super. And a boiler can take you back thousands of dollars. But if you have it saved up in your emergency fund, you don't have a problem. And your wealth fund contributions should grow as your income grows. As I've shared with you before, we make money, we save money, we invest money, we give money, then we spend money. So when you're making $100,000 a year and you get a $25,000 increase, you were already living at $100,000. Pretend like you didn't even see that $25,000. Immediately, either split it between emergency and wealth or do 75-25. You know the condition that you are in and you know what your goals are. And you should have a financial planner that you're talking to anyway that helps you make some of these decisions. So set a reminder twice a year, maybe January and July, to review both accounts and make sure that they are aligned with where you are and where you are going. You still with me? No one's freaking out? Okay, good. Stay with me. This is good for you. I want to leave you with this. You do not have to choose between feeling safe and building wealth. You deserve both. You can have both. But it starts with clarity. Knowing what each dollar is for and giving it a purpose before life makes that decision for you. An emergency fund says, I am protected, and when life gets hard, I'm ready. A wealth fund says, I'm building something that lasts. Both of those things are available to you. Not someday, not next week. Today, now. Starting small, starting with one intentional decision today. Today, $25. Today, start small. Start with one intentional decision. You only need to take the first step. I know you can do it. I have faith in you, or else you wouldn't be here watching this if you weren't thinking about how can I be smarter about my money? How can I be a better money manager? I want to be good with money. That's why you're here. So I've given you the tools, I've given you the resources, I've given you the strategy. Now it is all in your hands. And the next step, the next actionable item is on you. I know you can do it. If today's conversation spoke to you, let it move you to action. Start where you are, protect what you're building. Ask the questions you need to ask and take the next wise step for yourself and for your family. And if you want to stay in the loop for resources and infos on workshops, boot camps, and coaching, visit focusedfire.life because we are about that Focused Fire life. And sign up. Please like, share, and follow Focused Fire on Facebook and Focused Fire Life on IG. Thank you for being here with me today on Dignity and Dollars. I appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in. I pray, God, to open your eyes to see, your ears to hear, and your heart to receive that healing your relationship with money is for you. Becoming debt-free is for you. Becoming financially liberated is for you. Having financial freedom is for you. Having an emergency fund is for you. Having a wealth fund is for you. Having peace of mind is for you. Living in abundance and overflow is for you. Because what you desire, you deserve. Amen. Amen. See you next time.